Hi and welcome back to the channel. It's week 7 of Goofy training, and since it's an easy week, I thought I would accept a challenge. So I'm sure if you watch my channel, you probably watch Jar Oxandspoon, and he did a milkshake mile, and I decided I'm going to try it as well, and he challenged me to do a peach milkshake since I live in Georgia. So I stopped at Chick-fil-A this morning, got myself a peach milkshake. And it's really thick and it's going to take me forever to finish this. I'm out here at one of my favorite places to run. So while I'm pre-gaming a little bit here with a few sips, I'll talk about my week. Monday I just did 3 miles. I've started doing this thing on the treadmill where I watch something that has music in it and I do my easy pace, and whenever they sing a chorus of a song, I'll pick up my pace just for the chorus, and it makes running on the treadmill a little bit more interesting. Tuesday I did just a mile warm-up and did strength for runners. Wednesday I did another chorus pickup 3 miles. Thursday I did nothing because I was way too busy to actually run. And then Friday I did a 3.5 miles with, within that I did 2 miles at tempo, and it went really well. And then I did a core for runners class, which is really good. And so we're out here today. Galloway's plan calls for 3 miles, so I thought I would start off the first mile as a milkshake mile. So here we go. So I'm not really sure how to do this without like spilling it, but here we go. This milkshake is very thick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish the whole thing before the mile's up, but we'll see. I am a quarter mile in. I don't feel too much of anything yet. We'll see though. Back trail here at this park. It's one of my favorites. This is actually a popular cross-country course for our high schools right here. 0.46 in. I'm doing good. I'm about halfway done with this milkshake. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, 3/4 of a mile in. Still got a little bit of milkshake to go, but starting to feel it a little bit in my gut. And there's a hill right here, so we're gonna walk up this hill and slowly sip. All right, I only have 1/10 of a mile left to finish the milkshake. I'm almost done. I can do it. I can do it. It's hard to run and drink because I feel like the straw is going to cut my mouth. .98. We can do it. Can the camera cat pick up that noise? I finished! And exactly. And it's under Balloon Lady pace, so yeah. Now we'll see how I feel doing my other 2 miles, running normal, not carrying Milkshake. So I will catch up with you when I'm done with those 2 miles. All right, we did it. 3 miles, 12:12 pace. I did my typical long run walk intervals, even though it was just 3 miles. And I will say I walked a little bit more during miles 2 and 3. Just if I started to feel a little nauseous, I would just walk for a second. But hey, I feel like my Milkshake mile went pretty well. Not gonna use that as actual fuel, for sure. But if you've never had a peach milkshake, ooh, that's sun. If you've never had a peach milkshake from Chick-fil-A, they're really good. Okay, now I gotta go find my stepson and head home. We'll close this week out. So week 7 ends with the Milkshake mile. I did feel a little bit nauseous in the few hours following the 3 mile run, but actually it went better than I thought it would. I thought I would feel more sick, but something fun to do. Would definitely not suggest Milkshake as actual serious fuel, but it was a fun little experiment. Not in my little Disney corner to close this thing out because there's a lot of junk in there right now. Our marathon from Meb's book, let me flip over there, was his 6th marathon. It was the 2005 New York City Marathon. So I actually pretty sure this is the one, exactly a year. So there was a year between Marathon 5 and Marathon 6. And his key lesson was small personal victories can show you that even greater things are possible in the future. And there's a lot in this particular section. He talks about how he was overcoming injury. There was races that he did plan to run in between these 2 marathons, the last one in the 2005 New York City Marathon, but he had to pick and choose his battles because he had injury. But when I was thinking about that key lesson, and it's kind of related but kind of not, but this is what I thought of. And I wrote it down in my fancy, not really fancy planner. It got me to thinking about the 2 different verses in the Bible. 2 Corinthians 12:9, where it says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." And thank goodness for that. I think a lot of us can think of times like that where we feel like we can't do what God is calling us to do, but maybe that's why that calling is there, because His strength comes through us. And I know I've seen moments like that in my life. And then I also thought about where in Matthew and in Mark, it says, "With God, all things are possible." And I have moments, especially after, going back a couple weeks ago when I wasn't able to finish that hike. I was like, and I know there's a big difference between that hike and running 26 miles in flat Florida, but it will be hot, where I kind of doubted what I'm trying to train for, especially with a half and a full back-to-back. And then I got to thinking about, does God really care about this running journey? And it reminded me, with those 2 verses and that thought, a movie that I absolutely love and has meant different things for me at different times in my life, is Facing the Giants. It's a Kendrick Brothers movie. And there's a quote that the coach, it's a football movie, the coach says that I absolutely love. And when it comes to applying, the things that we love, our hobbies or sports or anything like that, does God really care? And He absolutely does. So he's having a conversation with his team about what their team focus should be. And one of the players, actually, maybe back up just a little bit. The coach is talking about how he thinks that football is just one of the tools that we can use to honor God. And the player goes, "So you think that God does care about football?" And this is what coach says, and this is what I think is so important. And what I'm trying to do, with with this outlet and with my running journey, and how I can use it as a tool to share my faith. What the coach says is, I think he cares about your faith. He cares about where your heart is. And if you can live out your faith on the football field, then yes, God cares about football because he cares about you. He sent his son Jesus to die for us so we could live for him. That's why we're here. But see, it's not just on the football field. We've got to honor him in our relationships, our respect for authority, in the classroom, and when you're at home alone surfing the internet. I want God to bless this team so much that people talk about what he did, but it means we got to give him our best in every area. And he goes on to talk about winning and losing and, honoring God in both of those. And I don't know why, because none of that really has to do with what the key lesson for the marathon was this week, but that's where my mind went. And I'm trying to do good about, if my mind goes somewhere and God puts something in my heart, sharing it here, even if it has absolutely nothing to do with what Meb's book was talking about, but it kind of does. Small personal victories can show you that even greater things are possible in the future. And especially the one verse that occurs twice in the Gospels, with God all things are possible. So just trusting, and on those days where long runs are going to seem super long, just using that time to connect back with him. And a lot of these long runs I'll be doing with some very good friends of mine that also, share my faith. And we use those long runs a lot of times just to talk about what's going on in our life and with our faith and things that we're struggling with. And that's why it's so great to have those friends that share the same thing I believe, because we can lean on each other when we need to. So Emily, thank you for that. You'll see her a lot. And my new friend Kim. So I hope everyone's training is going well. Two things that happened Disney-wise this week that I'm super excited about. I won't be participating in Springtime Surprise, but I was really excited to see those themes. So I think the theme last year and the theme this year just kind of goes to show that they got the right kind of mindset for the Springtime Surprise, coming up with these different things each year. So it's really exciting to see in the future, when I do plan on doing Springtime Surprise, that it'll be something really cool to look forward to. And then the other thing is, I saw that with their Not So Scary Halloween party that they had Powerline Max as one of the characters, and it will be such a shame, because that's a 90s movie and that's the theme that they're going for Marathon Weekend. If Powerline Max is not out there on the course, I mean, what were they thinking? So I really, really hope that that's one of the character stops, because I will be stopping for that one. Love that movie. So hope everyone's doing well. Training's going well. We got 9 miles next week. Is it 9 miles? Yes, 9 miles next week. Always remember that you are God's masterpiece, and I'll see you next week.